Hi, everyone. How you doing? I'd love to welcome our panelists on stage. So, Neil, welcome.
Hi.
Sima, welcome. Jeffrey, welcome. We've got an interesting panel for you guys today. Before we jump in, I'd like to ask our fellow panelists to introduce themselves. But first, if you don't know me, my name is Michael Perklin. I worked with Shapeshift for 6 years, and I'm currently working on a project called Archeo. But it's not about me, it's about our panelists. Let's start with you, Neil. All right, Jeffrey, would you like to introduce yourself? We'll go this way.
Okay, yeah. Maybe I will go first. I'm front running with the other panelists. So my name is Hashkey. My company is Hashkey Capital. So actually, Hashkey Capital is one of the largest crypto fund within the industry right now because our current AUM is over $1 billion, and we are also one of the earliest institutional investor of the Ethereum back into the 2015. And after that, actually, we continuously looking for and invested lots of the good projects, including Cosmos itself and many Cosmos ecosystem projects. So we are continuous to position ourselves as a strategic and also ecosystem investor. So currently, we are still our portfolio is over like 200 projects right now. So we're continuously looking for new projects. And I'm Jeffrey, and I'm a tech lead of Hashkey Capital. So we are doing, I'm leading the tech team to doing this technical research and tech DD for the Hashkey Capital. And I myself actually also wearing another hat of the for the Cosmos Chinese community, so that I'm also a community ambassador of the Cosmos Chinese community. So we together with other teams, we co-host lots of the meetups, dev events, and also dev training course, this kind of things. So if later on you have this kind of the needs or requirements, so please feel free to reach out to me.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Sima.
Hi. First of all, welcome to the best city in the world, Istanbul. Istanbulish. So, my name is Sima Baktas. I am crypto lawyer, let's say Web3 lawyer. When I say to the people, they say, "Oh, we need you." Everybody's reaction like that. And also, I'm co-founder of Crypto Female, as it's based on Turkey. The team is there, girls. Yeah. So we are actually right now around 6 countries. It's based on Turkey and in Philippines, Australia, London. It's upcoming other countries. So basically, I'm consulting JAX, stacks, and startup project, blockchain. And also my other interest area is cybercrime, cryptos, and so many different subjects I'm interested in. So thank you for inviting me to this wonderful panel.
Excellent. Neil.
Hi, everyone. Pleasure to be here. My name is Neil Cunha-Gomes. I work at the Softbank Vision Fund. I'm responsible for our fintech, insurtech, and crypto investments across EMEA. We've got about 500 companies globally. We've deployed about $150 billion across these companies. And our fund is about 1% invested in crypto, which means that we've got about $2 billion deployed in crypto over the last 3-4 years. As you can imagine, these are relatively large numbers for most of the VC scene in this community and ecosystem, but we've done mostly later stage deals. That's really where we're focused, and really excited to be here to get to know more of you across the Cosmos ecosystem. As I understand, this does seem to be the epicenter of a lot of innovation across crypto globally.
Excellent. Thank you, panelists. So we've got a pretty interesting panel today. I'm actually really excited to see how this conversation is going to go, because it's going to be a little bit spicy, and that usually means it's going to be interesting. I'd like to open up with just looking at a little bit of history. When you take a look at telecommunication businesses, cell phone companies, phone companies, back in the 1980s, phone companies had a very successful business by charging all of us long-distance fees. And that kept them very happy with their revenue streams until all of a sudden they realized the environment around them changed. They looked around and they saw the internet, they saw Skype. People were talking to others over long distances without paying a cent in long-distance fees. These phone companies had an existential threat. They needed to either adapt to the new world or die. And today, when you look at phone companies, instead you're looking at internet companies, companies that are charging for internet access, internet content. And a lot of the phone companies that may have been around in the 1980s, the ones that didn't survive were merged, bought, and became just relics of the past. Today, we look around and we see a lot of different businesses that are ripe for disruption by these blockchains that bring us all here today. We see exchanges, centralized exchanges that are being replaced by decentralized exchange protocols. We have banks that are being replaced by self-hosted wallets that you and I can carry in our phone. And we even see in the legal world, what used to be handwritten contracts are just starting to become smart contracts enforced by code rather than a judge. So I'd like to invite our three panelists to learn their opinions on how these three industries that I just mentioned, exchange, banking, and law, how those industries are changing and what they may be doing at their own respective companies to help not only drive this change, but survive and evolve with the change in the same way that telecoms did. Who would like to go first?
I'm happy to kick it off. So, look, I think definitely trends we're seeing across the board. From a conversation we were having backstage, Michael and I were just chatting about the news with UBS, who've just announced a pilot where they're about to tokenize their money market funds, and that's probably one first step that you're starting to see a lot of banks, traditional banks do, which is how does any incumbent avoid disruption or stay ahead of the curve on disruption? And that's really to start to integrate some of the newer technologies into what they're doing in their day-to-day business. And what's quite encouraging to see across some of our portfolio companies, for example, we've invested in a business called Elliptic. It's on the AML compliance side of this space. They're selling into exactly these traditional finance institutions, banks, exchanges, government entities as well. If you think about, tax collection agencies, but also investigative agencies, you have a lot of this traditional ecosystem that's actually already adopted early parts of the crypto ecosystem to try and understand what's going on first and foremost. And they've been doing that for years. They're actually relatively smart on the space, and they're relatively slow to move and adopt, of course. But at the same time, what's really fascinating and encouraging to see is that they're actually starting to embed this now into their day-to-day. So disruption's an interesting point, and it's interesting to see that they're actually thinking along the same lines and actually trying to embed a lot of this in what they do.
Great thoughts.
Actually, this is really good questions, and I think it's very important to think about this kind of to adapt new technology. First of all, a couple of weeks ago, I watched a BlackBerry movie. It's so interesting movie, and then they didn't so much focus on new technology, and then iPhone is coming up and destroy everything, and now nobody has BlackBerry. Yeah. So we can give so many example kind of these things, not only telecom sector. And as a lawyer, my observation is I can see that like traditional law system it's now surviving, but in the future can be really hard. Imagine before, let me give you just one simple example. Before, when even divorcing, and it was the evidence you just called some witness, but now most of evidence based on technology, with WhatsApp or there has to be evidence from the technology base, and you must know kind of these things. Not only this, and also nowadays so many law office doesn't need office and hire 100 people. Now it's some owner of the law office is good, but for the new lawyer is not really good. I don't know, because artificial intelligence is maybe take their job, and they have to be aware of this new technology because it's coming very strongly. And then that point, lawyers should be adopt new technology and should not seem like AI their enemy. They should adapt to AI. How they, for example, in my law office, I give them free ChatGPT, like Project GDP, they can access. I say, my lawyers, you should learn this, not not copy this, learn this, how you can adapt your your ability or your talent. So this is and also now I believe in the upcoming future. Not only legal office, but most of people who they won't be in office anymore. They will meet in metaverse office, and they will meet their client in metaverse. It's now metaverse is not high topic, I know, but in the future it will be more adoption, and then people will just meet up their metaverse law office, and maybe they will have legal file against, and maybe it will be online court system. It can be happen in the future. So many futuristic things can be happen. But as a lawyer, we talk so much. That's why you should interrupt me. Otherwise, you have to listen until morning.
Well, Sima, you brought up a great point. By embracing the change rather than resisting the change, it helps you survive. Did you have anything you wanted to add, Jeffrey?
Yeah, exactly. Maybe I can just go from the exchange side. But first thing I want to make some clarification is that I'm not from the Hashkey exchange. So probably you have know that there's a
capital.
Yeah, it's Hashkey Capital, because we are crypto fund. Well, Hashkey exchange is a regulated exchange within Hong Kong. So, but I just want to share my personal observation of the exchange. Because right now, but maybe too long don't wait for this, for my insight is that I think maybe in the very near term, maybe medium term, so a centralized exchange will coexist with the decentralized exchange for a very long time. But maybe in the long term, I see there's lots of the decentralized and the trustless exchange will come out. So that's maybe my observations. So one example for that is that maybe back to 2 years ago, we see lots of the centralized exchange is building their own DEX, their own chain, and especially they are using Cosmos SDK to building their chains. So I think that's a very good example that this kind of decentralized technology could be very good complementary to the centralized exchange. To this centralized technologies, well, they can also build their own chain, their own DEX to have more developers to build their own ecosystem. So I think that's maybe in a very we can foresee a future that this kind of solution is, I think is maybe it's a better solutions or maybe better designs for all kinds of the financial system or maybe financial service providing companies. So I think maybe I think we can see more and more this kind of decentralized solution be adopted by the centralized companies.
That's a great point, Jeffrey. You're absolutely right that we can already see some evidence of centralized companies embracing decentralized technologies to survive the curve and make sure that they come out the other side as continuing to be relevant. Between Binance with Binance Chain and other examples, it's happening right in front of us. And as I think of all three of our panelists, all three of you, rather than working for just one company, all three of you work in a capacity where you get to deal with many companies, either through your funds or through your clients at your law firm. This means that instead of just looking at one thing, you get to look at an entire set of things. I'm wondering if there are any other notable examples from either your portfolio companies or your clients that illustrate the type of embracing of this technology to survive the curve, and maybe you'd like to discuss one or more of them to see how this fits in context.
Yeah, maybe let me I think there's lots of examples, but let's say maybe there's some. Actually, I think there's some example of companies doing that, like maybe for some payment company. Actually, they are also providing this kind of paymaster solutions for the because we know there's a AA wallets, account instruction wallets on the Ethereum right now. So there's lots of the paymaster servicing this kind of solutions are coming out. So right now we also observe that this kind of like maybe for the payments companies or maybe that's solution companies, they also want to provide this kind of solutions for their maybe their for some this kind of payment on the Ethereum itself. So that's I think examples for that expanding their business on another side. So it's not maybe maybe in the long term there's a mass adoptions for the Ethereum, for the Cosmos, for the Bitcoin. So that's if there's a trend that's happening, so this kind of payments company could survive in that trend. So that's maybe one example. And another example actually is coming from the Bitcoin system actually. So actually we also talk with I also talked with several other projects are building with the company with Bitcoin recently, especially like maybe Bitcoinomic this projects, and they actually there's also some other like this payment solutions. They are also adopted the Lightning Network and other solutions to facilitate their settlement and also payments within the different regions of the world. So that's I think that's also a very interesting examples for them to doing like that, and they can also provide some like rewards for the for providing this kind of liquidities. So that's we also we also see for some of our portfolio and other partners.
Those are great examples. Do either of you have something to add?
Actually, as a legal aspect, mostly the centralized exchange and centralized background companies more interest to be involved in cryptos. The legal aspect, they want to have compliance in legal issue, and then because they are central and they have to obligate some in most of law system. And then that's why they need help for, they need lawyers in this case. But my observation in decentralized exchange is a little bit far away from this, and they don't that much concern about legal, and they think we are decentralized, we are not centralized, so we don't have to be compliant in legal issue because we completely decentralized, we can whatever we want. But I don't believe this shouldn't be like that, because a decentralized system, it should be also concern of a legal and compliance of legal system. Why? Because it's not only I believe freedom of the finance. This is another thing. As an investor, I also use DeFi system. No, I don't want a centralized system. As you know, why we choose decentralized system, because it's never we can see FTX and other things. You don't trust. You should be. You should trust the system, but also you want your own money and financial freedom. But on the other side, so many once people have some problem in legal issue, they must also some people also be authorization and give this, how we say, I'm so afraid of talk about this subject, by the way, in this centralized panel. I know they don't like it that much to talk about this, but we,
it's a spicy topic for sure.
yeah. So as you see, I'm super nervous about that, because I just only lawyer here in this decentralized event. So, but if we want sustainability business, we should concern about this case. As maybe new generation system we can build, not should be traditional. Maybe we can also help the lawyers and law office to adapt the new system. Maybe there should be also some legal tech and then compliance in decentralized system. Maybe that's why decentralized system very far away from this subject. And adoption not only will be the technology people, also for the lawyers, it have to be done. Yeah.
Let me take a slightly different angle to
Sure.
just provide a different color here. So, if I were to extrapolate your question on, how are, our portfolio companies embracing this space, I'll talk a little bit about my non-crypto companies, right? So, vast majority of our portfolio is in regular tech companies that have nothing to do with the Web3 space just yet. And I think the boost in awareness that occurred over the last couple of years is incredible. And so a lot of people then turn to become crypto curious. And I think there seems to be a little bit of a gap now, where you have Web2 companies that are at the forefront of their respective tech feats, and what they're really looking to do is see if there's a sensible way to adopt some of the benefits that we see in the Web3 ecosystem. And you can look very tangibly at the first set of application use cases around loyalty points and a few others. But ultimately, what they're also looking for is the stability and resilience of a tool that is not going to let them down, not going to fail, not going to have bugs, and is really battle tested to push out to millions, tens, hundreds of millions of users. And so I think that's the interesting gap as to where our company's looking to embrace crypto. I think you start to see a lot of Web3 native protocols build brand partnerships, and I think that's a great first step. How do you merge Web2, Web3, really get the Web2 user base into Web3, or ultimately think about it as one ecosystem? But I think that gap is still to be filled. And I think one of the most exciting things I'm looking to see over the next couple of years is all the entrepreneurs out there in this room and others, they're actually building those applications and demonstrating to the Web2 companies that, hey, by the way, this is something you can offer your clients and work with us. Perhaps that's something we can do together.
Great thoughts. We're coming down to the end of our panel. I'd like to ask our panelists to maybe spend 30 seconds talking about the inverse. We've talked a lot about surviving the evolution, but Sima, you brought up BlackBerry, a company, an exact example of a company that did not embrace the change. If we think of, humans survived the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs, let's talk about the dinosaurs. In 30 seconds or less, what do you think companies should be doing to make sure that they don't become the dinosaurs during this evolution that these blockchains are bringing us today?
Happy to kick it off. So from my perspective, I think what companies should be doing is what you're starting to see some companies do, which is first off attend events, conferences like these where they're mixing with folks that are really at the disruptive edge of where this technology is headed in all dimensions. I think second step is for them to actually test it out, right? It's all well and good to learn, and the next thing is to say, well, how does it make sense, or does it even make sense? And I think the vast majority of companies haven't really got their mindset around to that yet, but I fully believe that a handful more will.
Excellent.
Yeah, okay, so I will go next. And I think I do believe that maybe in the futures, the companies should maybe adopt more like trustless and this kind of technologies. Not necessarily to be very decentralized, but this kind of technology should be verifiable and trustless within the network, within layer 1, layer 2, or maybe in app chains, in roll-ups, or whatever, as long as they can verify it by trustless by any party. So that could be bring this us to this future.
Excellent. Sima, the final word?
Yeah. Actually, we now have a great event here, and this is one of the steps we can fight for this. But also, still traditional institutions very powerful, and they have government support them, legal side support them. So I believe the crypto system also should be adoption in that way, and then involve other institutions in their adoption, and then not only small group, not only crypto guys, also to other institutions, even the public people, like the people on the street. We need to teach them what is this and how they can use this technology in their life. So then we can fight with dinosaurs, I believe.
It's great thoughts, Sima. Let's give a hand for our panelists. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Great job. Thank you.